Hello, grade 10 students. In this video, we're going to continue with our chapter about the green plants for this week, week 25. As we said before, the green plants, they are the plants that contain the pigment, which is the chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is the pigment in green plants that absorb the sunlight and give the green color of the leaves. Also, they are called as the chlorophylltic plants, while those that lack the pigment, they are classified as non-chlorophylltic plants. Green plants, the first need for the green plant, they need water to grow tall and green. This is the first element. They need minerals in order to grow fast. 3. They need the sunlight or the light in general in order to grow well and to remain green in color. Number 4. They need carbon dioxide, CO2, in order to grow well. So the 4 needs, they are water, mineral salts, light, and CO2, carbon dioxide. Green plants and water. Let's observe the performed experiment to answer the following questions. Here we have 3 tubes, tube A, B, and C. Tube A, we have only clay and water. So here, clay and water, it's the tube A, which is called the control tube. So tube A is the control tube. It's used to compare and explain the different experimental results. Second, what do we have? We have in tube B, the plant, they are identical in tube B and C, as they mentioned here in the figure. We have identical green plants, they are the same. Here we have the roots in the tube B. So the plant contains roots, it has the stem and has roots. So the variable factor between B and C is the presence of the roots in tube B. So the level of water here, it decreases. While in the absence of roots in tube C, since we don't have roots, so the level of water after 2 days, it remains the same. So no change in the level of water. So let's first compare the tube A to tube B at the beginning of the experiment. Tube A contains no plant, while tube B it contains plant. What is the role of tube A? We said that it's a control tube used to compare and explain the different experimental results. Compare the level of water in both tubes A and B at the end of the experiment. So in A, the level of water, it remains the same, no plant, so there is no absorption of water. While in B, the level of water, it decreases. What may you conclude from the experiment? First, comparison. You have to talk about the similarities and the differences whenever I said compare. So compare, both tubes contain water and they are covered by clay. Tube A does not contain a plant. There is no plant in tube A, while tube B, it does. It contains a plant. Role of tube A, as I said, it's a control tube. What is the role of the control? It's used to compare and explain the experimental results. Part 3. Compare the level of water in both tubes A and B at the end of the experiment. So level of water in tube A without the plant, it remains the same. There is no change in the water level. While in tube B, containing the plant, the level of water decreases to lower levels. What can you conclude from the experiment carried out on tube A and B? We can conclude that green plants, what do? They absorb water. Moving to part 5, 6, and 7. What is the variable factor between tubes B and C? You have to compare the level of water in tube B to that in tube C. At the end of the experiment, deduce the structure responsible for the absorption of water in green plant. First, tube A, B and tube C, the variable or the difference is the presence of roots. since the roots, they are present in tube B and they are absent in tube C. So this is the variable factor. Compare the level of water in tube B to that in tube C at the end of the experiment. So level water tube C, where the plant does not have roots, so there is no roots in tube C. So it remains the same. So in tube C, where the plant does not have any roots, so the level of water remains the same. However, in tube B, where the roots exist, where we have roots and they are dipped in water, they are placed in water, the level of water, it drops to a lower level. So what is the structure responsible for the absorption of water in green plant? They are the roots. So the roots, they are responsible for the absorption of water in the green plants. Observing root closely. So here we have the root cap. This is called the root cap. And here inside the roots we have hair structures. They are referred to as the root hairs. Which part of the root absorbs the water? Is it the root cap or the root hairs or even both of them? The root cap, the root hairs. Let's see. Absorption of water. We have two experiments, two plants, 1 and 2. In tube 1, what do? We put oil and water as seen in this figure in both of them. In tube 1, the plant 1, the root hairs, they are dipped inside the water. So we have the root hairs here, they are in water, and the root cap also. While here, the root hairs in plant 2, they are placed where? In oil. While the root cap is placed where? In the water. So here, the plant 1, it survives. Plant 2, it dies. So what is the variable? Here, the position of the root hairs. The root hairs in plant 2, which died, the root hairs, they are found inside the oil. While in plant 1 that survived, they are placed in water. So let's move to these questions. Indicate the variable. Distinguish the conditions to which both plants they are exposed. Analysis, drawing out a conclusion. So the variable factor is the part of the root, whether the root hair or the root cap, which is dipped in water. Distinguish the condition to which both plants they are exposed. So the plant 1, the root hairs and the root cap, both of them, they are dipped in water. The root hairs and the root cap. Wherever in plant 2, the root hairs, they are dipped in oil, while the root cap is dipped in water. So here, the variable factor is the part of the root. Which part? The root cap or the root hairs? They are dipped in water. Analysis of the obtained results. So, after dipping the root hairs and root cap in water, the green plants, they grow normally. While after dipping the root hairs were inside the oil and the root cap in water, what happened? The green plant, it withers and finally it dies. So drawing out a conclusion, the root hairs, they are the part of the root that is responsible for the absorption of water in green plants and not the root cap. So the root hairs, they are the part of the root that are responsible for the process of absorption of water in the green plants. So root hairs, whenever they are placed in water, they lead to the absorption of water and the plants grow normally. While if it's placed in oil, this root hair, it will die. The plant will die eventually. So here we determine the part which is responsible for the absorption of water, which is the root hair. Thank you, guys.